extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about irresponsible, one-sided news stories
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has
extremely dangerous to our democracy.
What's going on? What's going on? You know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. We are live and direct, live in effect. My voice is off. Been sneezing all day. Allergies are starting to get on my nerves. Uh, Surprised it took this long, but they starting to kick in full effect. I got to get on it. Get on my things I got to do to get rid of them. You know, same thing every year. No surprise. You know what I'm saying? Starts to get warm. Pollen starts to flow. The allergies got to let go. And that's just the way it is. What's going on with y'all tonight? How y'all feeling? What we got in the chat? Alfonso in the house. What's good, Alfonso? What's up? What's up? I started a few minutes late today. I was all disoriented, but we gonna still make it happen. That's a DMD. What up? What up? What up from Florida? What's good? What's good? Truth is here. What up? What up? We got a wrench up in the house. That's what's up. Got King in the house as well. What's good, King? How you feeling? Yeah, this weekend, man, I got a chance to sleep in. You know, that's always good. Eric Merritt in the house. What up, Eric? What's good? Got a chance to just get some rest. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to catch up on sleep. started rewatching The Wire from season 3 again, man. And just picking up little nuggets here and there, stuff that I didn't really catch. Like some of these things, you really got to watch them multiple times in order to catch certain components of the show. And it was very surprising, some of the things I had noticed. But you know, you go back and you watch these things with different eyes. You know what I'm saying? With the way we look at things from a critical aspect, and some of the nuances that you catch are very, very interesting. You know, whether it be public or private, you know what I'm saying? People exercising their rights. You're watching the police officers violate people's rights. Like he violating their rights, but like the whole time, some of the dudes was in the wrong. A lot of the times that they was getting their rights violated, they was already in the wrong anyway. Some of the times, not all the times, but it was just a very interesting thing to watch when you go back and watch it again. But yeah, man, all around great show. I started watching The Sopranos for the first time, trying to get through that. That is a long ass show. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sit down and watch all of that. Don't have that kind of time. But it's pretty good. Hip hop, what up? What's good? Good to have you here. About 15 people in the building. That's what it is, man. Yo, so man, I wanted to chop up something with you guys real fast. So apparently, I don't know how I missed this, so this slipped my radar. But for you guys that remember the rise of the Moors that were on 95 highway 2 years ago, I think this might have been 3 years ago now. It might have been 2021. They basically got caught they were running an exercise drill. They were heading to the woods to do an exercise drill. And there was a bunch of people that were calling themselves Moors, and they were going into the woods to do a training exercise, and they had a bunch of rifles strapped to their backs, AR-15 style rifles, that kind of thing. And you remember it was a big standoff, and they were saying that they were trying to cause an issue, impeding traffic because of the standoff and all that stuff. And they ended up getting all these goddamn charges. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was 10 guys who ended up going through the grinder and the legal system. And I think half of them took plea deals, which was crazy. You saw how the initial arraignment was going. I'm a Moorish national. This court doesn't have jurisdiction, such and such. And they basically was trying them under the straw man name. I'm not sure how they got their straw man names. I don't even know how they got those, but they ended up going through the grinder, and half of them took plea deals. Some of them plead out for 2 years, and then probation for the rest of the time. And then I think the last guy who was supposed to be the leader, they saved him for last. He ended up getting found found guilty. This was man, when was this? I think this was June. I remember he put something out last year saying his case got dismissed. And I was like, oh, I think I even mentioned it on my channel that his case got tossed out, but it did not get tossed out. He ended up going to trial for it, and he got a trial by jury, and they found him guilty. So you're about to be doing 10 years over. They said it was because of high capacity magazines. It was a bunch of horse shit, you know what I'm saying? But like they hemmed him up and cranked the vice down on his skull. Now he about to be sitting for 10 years, which is wild. He'll have to do an appeal. I was talking to somebody on the channel about that earlier. I'm like, yo, he could probably do an appeal under the New York Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. You know, and yeah, the case did specifically target the carrying of handguns, is what they called it in the case. But the thing about that is they also give a general synopsis as well as to how it applies to the Constitution. So it basically said text, history, and tradition. So it's still my contention that if dude goes and does an appeal and it gets heard and gets picked up by a higher court, they'll go ahead and you know overturn the case. We'll see though. I mean, goddamn, that's a hard pill to swallow. I remember there was a back and forth between it was the Moorish community was going back and forth with Tazadak, the secure party guy Tazadak. Then these dudes they were guffing, like they were online talking heavy crap about each other, man. And this went on for some months. They were making videos and everything talking about each other. It looks like Tazadak was right. He was like, yo, them dudes great get some heavy time. Like they don't know what they doing when they going in the court talking about they Moors and all this. Y'all supposed to be the ones who taught them, and y'all got them looking bad out here. They learned underneath. So I don't know who they learned underneath, but yeah, they got hemmed up. That's crazy. But crazy stuff. What can I say? But yeah, I just found out about that today. Excuse me, my voice is not what it should be. But I just found out about that today, actually. That's wild. Strength out to them dudes, man. Hope they get through it. Meanwhile, we're gonna continue to move on. All right. Let's talk about this particular video I ended up seeing online.
With shocking claims against a Houston urban park ranger. That's right. The man says 33-year-old Joey Lamar Ellis demanded he either give him sex or cash to avoid being arrested. Devin Clark joining us now from Cullen Park, where the man says all of this happened to him twice.
The man you're about to hear from says this used to be a place where he could come, run, work out, clear his mind. But now he says it triggers memories of a series of traumatic events that he still finds hard to believe.
This is like traumatizing. Like my life would never be the same ever.
This man who asked not to be identified is the second alleged victim of Houston urban park ranger Joey Lamar Ellis to come forward. His story begins early April in Cullen Park after the man says he was getting ready to leave after a workout when Ellis did the unthinkable.
He ended up stopping me. I was at my car and he was like, "You trespassing, your car going to be towed. You're not supposed to be out here."
The man says Ellis made him pull his pants down, demanded his license, and threatened to take him to jail unless he did one of two things.
He told me, "You could suck this, you know what, or you could pay me."
The man says he reluctantly paid Ellis some $260.
He had like a holster, like a gun holster.
Out of fear, the man says he did not report the first incident. When he returned to the park a few weeks later, he says he ran into Ellis again.
He was like, "You already know the routine. I told you not to be out here." One or two things, basically what he told me the first time.
But this time, the man says he was able to get away, but Ellis didn't back down.
So I jumped the curb and I drove off. As I attempted to drive off, he was following my car like on the highway, like speeding. Then he tried to sideswipe me and everything to get me to pull over.
He tells us he eventually lost Ellis. Now, he says he found the strength to file a report with HPD after hearing another man came forward with a similar story earlier this month, leading Ellis to be charged in that case with felony official oppression.
I just left it alone, but then somebody else spoke up, so I just hope that others would speak up.
Yo, that's a lot to unpack there. That is crazy. Our man said he was going to the park for a jog, and yo got hit with an ultimatum out of nowhere. That story, there's some. Now, listen, there's a lot missing. Let's be honest, there's a lot missing out of that story, of course. But yo, on the face, the story sounds absurd. It sounds crazy. What? That is one of the craziest stories I've heard this week. I don't even know how many 241, 242. That ain't even a 241 because dude was operating dolo. That's a 242 suit right there. God damn. If I ever seen one. What? Sheesh. It's been more and more of this stuff coming out in the news recently, man. It just makes me wonder what the hell is really going on. The corruption, man, is just wild. Man was going to the park to get a jog, and he got hit with a mean ultimatum. That's nasty work right there, bruh. Sheesh. Moving on. We got to keep moving on after that one.
Allegedly a leaked recording from a military base. And it's just full of silicone molds of people. Like, excuse me? Oh. But maybe this is their cloning that they've been working on. Just like human-like faces. Oh my god, or what if the aliens are wearing these outfits? Huh! So many theories, man! Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Man, that's crazy. No, somebody had told me this video was supposed to be let me see. I think it said right on there. Yeah, one of a secret bases or something like that. I don't believe something like that would leak on the regular net. You might be able to get on like the dark web and see something like that, but I don't think something like that would be able to make it to the light of day on on social media. That is that is some crazy shit. Did you see Mitch McConnell in the front? That was literally a Mitch McConnell suit in the front. Somebody said they saw the Biden suit as well. That's crazy. No, if you guys remember, and I don't even know. Probably shouldn't even say this on. I shouldn't even say that. I'm gonna save that. I'll save that for the Patreon. Y'all need to go to the description box underneath. Join the Patreon. Get the little $5 a month subscription so we can chop game. I ain't gonna be able to say that on here because I think a video I said that on before got pulled. So yeah, I can't say that. But yeah, for those who know what's been going on for a very long time. But yeah, I'm not sure how real that video is, but if it was real, I would not be surprised, to be honest. Not one bit. All right, let's move on.
You can do.
Oh no, hold on. Let me try this real quick. I might have to reload it. I gotta reload it. Hold on a second. They pulled the video down. That's crazy. I was trying to show you the video. They ended up pulling the video down. I'm not gonna be able to show you the video. That's wild. That happens sometimes. I go to show you the video and the video gets yanked down. Mashai was good. Was good. Alfonso, have you seen three strips from OM three strips OM Biden means it's red and has a meaning. The three strips OM Biden, I don't know what that means, bro. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that. That's crazy though. But yeah, there's a lot of I've literally come to the conclusion that everything we see on TV is fake. Like 90% of shit you see on TV is fake. You know what I'm saying? I had a conversation with somebody about sports 2 weeks ago. And this whole thing with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, where Ryan Garcia fought Haney and knocked him out, beat him. And then it comes out later on that Ryan Garcia was on human growth hormones or something like that, or some kind of like a performance enhancing drug, which in so many words, they were saying that that's the reason he really had the edge over Devin Haney. So Devin Haney took action with the boxing console or something like that. He ended up getting Ryan Garcia suspended for a year. Then he had the title stripped from Ryan Garcia. And then on top of that, he had the loss wiped from the record. So he's still undefeated. So I said to somebody, I said, Joe, if you think for 1 second these sports are not rigged, you're an idiot. He's like, well, I don't think that, such and such. I said, yo, listen, anywhere there's money to be made, and this is why I say stuff is scripted. Anywhere there's money to be made, somebody is going to be there to make that money. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to be there to place those bets, underground betting and stuff like that. They just made like sports betting app like probably 4 years ago, I think it was, maybe 3 years ago. It's called FanDuel, I think. You can now, after 2020, they basically made it so you can now just get an app and do sports betting. But for a long ass time, sports betting was supposed to be illegal. You know what I'm saying? But they were still doing it. You know, there's a whole lot that goes on with these games. There was a guy that got interviewed by, I think it was DJ Vlad. For those of you who've seen the interview, and he was an ex-mafia dude. I think he was an Irish mafia guy, and he was saying, "Yo, if they have like a NFL player or something like that, or any kind of like sports player who gets in real bad gambling and loses his ass, and he's got to pay him back." You know what I'm saying? And he says, "Look, I don't have the money." I said, "All right, hey, look, no sweat, don't worry about it. All right, this is what you're gonna do for us. We're going to tell you exactly when to drop the ball or when to put the ball in the other team's hands. You'll get the signal. All you got to do is watch this guy over here in this section. When the signal is given, you make sure you put that ball in the other guy's hands. You know what I'm saying? So he'll go ahead and do what he got to do. and get the ball. All right, boom. Am I clear? Not yet. We only made such and such a fraction of what you actually. They actually had a movie called The Longest Yard about this, where Adam Sandler plays this ex NFL quarterback who was retired because they said he was throwing game. He threw the game, but they could never prove it. So he ended up retiring, and he was living with some rich celebrity chick, and he ended up losing his mind, and he went to jail, and then he ended up going to jail, and they had him playing in jail or whatever. So they were asking him like, "Yo, why'd you throw the game? Why'd you throw the game? Why'd you throw the game?" And he kept saying, "I'm innocent. I'm innocent. You didn't see the news. I'm innocent." So he of course, the last scene, the moment of truth came where he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. I did throw that game. I was in a bad way, and I got real bad in debt with a bunch of guys who was serious." And I had to throw the game. It was either that or my life. He was like, "Oh, my family's life." So I had to throw the game in order to save myself. That's what he said. He ended up coming out and saying it at the end. And again, this is what happens when we start dealing with these public platforms and these shows. You know what I'm saying? These movies and stuff like this. And telling you exactly what's going on. And then as far as the sports games goes, this is what happens behind the scenes. With everybody watching something, there's going to be money made. You know, always. The Javante Davis fight, I still think a lot of those fights that are put in front of him, they're basically, I'm not going to say he's not gifted and talented. 100% the dude can fight. And I'm not saying none of these dudes can't fight. That's not the case. But outcomes can be manipulated for specific purposes. This is sports entertainment. It's not necessarily sports. So, with that said, whenever there's like a public platform where there's sports being played, politics are always going to be involved. Listen, I've been to games with middle schoolers while I'm watching politics happen in front of me. Middle school games. Literally, there's like not even grand scale games, just like a group of neighborhood recreational teachers, you know what I'm saying, involved, not even teachers, but students or whatever, or players and parents or guardians involved with a league recreationally. And I'm watching certain teams. You know what I'm saying? I listen. I didn't seen it all. I didn't seen certain teams have the coach that's always there, and then you'll have another team whose coach is hardly ever there. They got a stand-in coach who's not really that good, and the team is losing. They're supposed to be the pad team to pad the other team's record to make a specific player on the other team and his team look real good. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that will boost their confidence, or get in a position where they can actually try some of the things they learned in training without jeopardizing loss or whatever. Because you're not going to actually be good at something until you put it to the test on the court or on the field. With any sport, if you're a swimmer, you're not really going to be an expert swimmer or like really be able to test yourself unless you put yourself like in a swimming tournament where you know what I'm saying, the adrenaline is going and you really are there. That's the way you sharpen your blades. It's the same thing for competing in martial arts. You're not really going to know how you'll perform, or the closest thing you'll get to performing in like a real fight is you being fighting a stranger. It's trying to force your will on a stranger. You know what I'm saying? Who is out to break your arms or knock you out or basically take you down, all kinds of stuff. So, um, yeah. So one of those things is like, they'll have one team in the league be the one who's like a punching bag team, and then they'll have another team or other teams, certain teams that'll have a coach who's always there, or the coach will have a special experience with coaching, and the other team won't have like a really good coach or something like that. It's politics, yo. Politics are involved in everything. And to think that something on that big of a scale is not going to have the maximum amount of politics that you can see when it comes to sports is just foolish, in my opinion. It's completely foolish. You know, people talk about the Dez Bryant catch for the Cowboys, how Dez Bryant supposedly caught the ball. Well, he did catch the ball. Y'all saw it. It's like, yo, he caught the ball if they say he caught it. If they said he didn't catch the ball, he didn't catch it. Because at the end of the day, in sports entertainment, it's going to be more interesting to see the Patriots become an unstoppable juggernaut. Everybody wants to see take an L than to see the Cowboys go to the freaking Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. And that's why I believe that's why Tom Brady and the Patriots were on top so long. It wasn't because they was just good. Coach Tom Brady's a beast. Don't get it twisted. But he had the odds in his favor. The people was working for. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Brady was a Rothschild or some shit like that, yo. But like this dude literally was on a rampage in the NFL. Could no team stop him. You had a couple of them. You had the Giants that, Eli Manning's brother, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning's brother was able to stop him. You know what I'm saying? But like, at the end of the day, it's the script. People want to see if Eli Manning can do it. Eli Manning beats him. That means next time they go to the Super Bowl, he got to play Eli Manning. It's going to be like double of what they made last time for the bets. Who's going to bet on Tom Brady? Who's going to bet on the Giant Slayer? Eli Manning. They made a lot of money at Hollywood and Las Vegas off of that game. I tell you, they got paid off of that game. Shit, let me tell you something. Everybody betting Tom Brady was going. He going to lose twice to Eli. Shit. All them dudes, man. You even look at Eli Manning. Peyton Manning, rather. The last year he was in the league when he won the championship. Yo, he was on all kinds of human growth hormones. First off, if you look at his forehead when he first came in the league compared to when he retired, his forehead grew by like 2 inches. That is clear PED use. Your head does not grow. His head grew like 3 to 4 inches. I mean, dude had a 5 head for real. His head was huge. You know what I'm saying? You look at him when he won that who the hell he played that game against? Who was that game against? It was against the it wasn't the Lions, it was the Panthers, Carolina Panthers, when the Broncos won the Super Bowl over the Panthers. And you look at that game, and you just look at Eli Manning and how he was moving. He's supposed to be having a neck injury. This dude was moving crisp. He was throwing the ball. He was able to get out the pocket. Like, yo, this dude is clearly on some kind of something to get him out of where he needs to be at to pull this one last victory off. He's clearly on it. Like, dude, there's no freaking way this dude's not using HGH. But this is what I talk about. People will sit up there and argue left and right that there's no fuckery going on with sports, and it's just retarded. It don't make no sense. Common sense would tell you that. Right, gambling is illegal in most places, but now it's glorified. Yeah, they got an app now. They got, and here's the thing. The reason they can do it is because it's not sports, it's sports entertainment. Sports entertainment outcomes can be manipulated for the desire in the favor of entertaining. So yes, sports are involved, but it's not sports. It's sports entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part about it. It's a difference. It's like public and private. You know what I'm saying? Private is sports. Public is sports entertainment. Manipulate it whatever way you see fit. Insane, what up? Yepers, true champions want to compete against the very best, not easy ones. Okay, I'm not really clear on how that fits in with what we're talking about, Irby. Maybe I'm missing what you're saying. My bad. But nah, yo, I'm just saying. I say all that basically to say that this whole, it's a show, man. Everything we're seeing is a show. So as far as these suits and stuff like that, these rubber suits that people could be wearing to look like this, that, and the third. It's very much a possibility, man. 90% of stuff you say on television is completely scripted. You know, it's put there to grab your attention to get you talking about it, distract you, hinder your focus, those kinds of things. I thought I had something else. I think I do. Hold on, let me see. I think I do. All right. Let's get into it.
The biggest industries in America. They have created driverless semi-trucks, and before the end of this year, they plan to have them on the roads in Texas running fully autonomously.
So what is the government going to do for the people that don't have no more work because of AI taking over the truck driver?
Many drivers we spoke with say they're afraid of this taking their jobs.
I want to get a bunch of my guys together and go picket that company because it's going to be a chain reaction. You're going to have other companies coming up and they're going to repeat the technology and it's going to put us out of a job.
The Teamsters are a large trucking union representing tens of thousands of drivers. They sent Pittsburgh's Action News 4 this statement that reads in part, "There should always be a well-trained and properly licensed person in the front seat of a vehicle. No matter what any big tech company says, there isn't a single driverless vehicle on the road today that's anywhere close to operating at the same capacity as a human driver." That's a view the American Trucking Association's wholly disagrees with.
That's an antiquated argument. If you have a shortage of talent, as big as 70,000 drivers short in our industry, you can add as many automated trucks as you want. You're not going to fill that void.
They got the autonomous trucks coming, and Cali was the one who was spearheading that project, I believe. You know what's crazy? Cali actually, I think, what is his name, Newsom or something like that. He actually said he wanted to move away from gasoline cars being sold. I think the goal was supposed to be like 2028, right? Or 27 or something like that. And they recently just decided to start some kind of tax where it's like every 2 miles or something like that, you get hit with a fee or something retarded like that. Like, what exactly are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? And they're supposed to be doing like, all right, well, look, if we're gonna cut out the gasoline cars, you know what I'm saying? Let's just tax the hell out of them while they still here to put people in a further incentive to go get it. It was something backwards like that where he started taxing. He wants to start taxing the gasoline cars, which is absurd. Like I said, man, they're trying to usher in these autonomous cars. I'm starting to see more and more Teslas on the road. As Teslas get older, they're going to get cheaper. Batteries are starting to get cheaper for those things. We talked about this last year, 2 years ago, I think it was. I think I had this conversation with you guys when I was I think I might have been in Florida when I talked to you guys about this. And we were like, yo, here's why it's not feasible. One of the reasons being because the electric car batteries are too expensive. You had a Toyota hybrid. The battery back then for one of those things was like $8,000. By itself. But now you can get batteries for those things for less than $6,000. You get one for like $5,000, and then you pay a competent mechanic to put it in. That's another $1,500, $2,000. So that's way less than it was before. Before, you're not touching an electric car, electric battery repair on an electric car for less than like 10 bands. If you're lucky, less than 10 bands. Ain't nobody touching that thing. You touch that orange wire, you're gonna be talking to God. Because those electric cars, they serious, man. So but yeah, it's starting to look like the tide is changing. The more electric cars they got out, the Teslas get older, they get cheaper, the batteries are going to start being more affordable. The problem's starting to fix itself. I'm slowly watching it happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no goddamn electric car. To hell with that. I don't want no electric car. I don't want nothing that could be easily hacked. Like, I like old cars from the 90s and early 2000s. They weren't really what is it? What am I trying to say? They weren't too computerized or overly technologically advanced. The reason being for that is now, like, everything has a computer on the car now. I had what the hell was that? Was that a Mercedes that came? I think it was a Mercedes E63, I believe, that came in my shop. And this thing has a special sensor and computer for the hood latch. Like, the hood latch, just the hood opening and closing, is literally a computer controlling that. And I'm like, why is that necessary? You know what I'm saying? Why is this particularly necessary? Even on the tire pressure monitor sensors, a lot of cars now have what's called TPMS. So the TPMS is basically, it monitors the pressure of your tires. A lot of them don't even use air no more. They use gas. You got to take it to the dealership and they put gas in it, and the gas is supposed to be better and doesn't fluctuate as often as the air does. People complain about when it goes from summer to winter time. A lot of times the PSI in the tires will fluctuate. So they put gas in there to prevent that problem from happening. But it also comes with those tire pressure monitor sensors. So if there is a problem where you got a leak or something of that nature, it'll alert you in the dashboard. It's another computer. Here's the issue. Those computers are often tied into body control modules on non-German cars, but on German cars, a lot of the German cars have like a standalone. So with that said, those things can be pricey. You know, if they go up, you're just looking at a tire pressure monitor sensor light in your dash that's constantly there and it's not going to go out until you replace it. Then you don't want to just replace one sensor because if you replace one, there's a good chance the other ones could be bad too. Like I had an Acura TL. It was a 2008 Acura TL, and it had the tire pressure monitor sensor thing on there. Here's how annoying that system was. You can only check one at a time because the way you check it is you basically hold like a special tool up to each sensor. And then when you got to put the car, like turn the key on and off and then leave the key on, it'll beep twice. And then you put the tool up to one of the sensors and then the car will beep when it works. But if the car doesn't beep, that means you have to replace the one. But here's the problem. You can't go to the next one until you replace or the one is working that you're looking at. So the one was bad on the front driver side. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and get that. Got it, ordered it, programmed it, installed it. Everything was cool. So I do the test again. So it goes beep, cool. Go to the second one. Beep. Go to the one on the right rear side. No response. I'm like, yo, I could have got two of these damn things because I was just trying to sell a car. I didn't want to just keep replacing shit. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and replace this one. So I replaced the right rear one, did the whole process over again. So I'm like, beep, beep, beep. Then the other one was bad. I'm like, yo, for all this, I really could have just got four of them and just been done with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the things I don't like about cars that are too computerized. It's fussy. You know what I'm talking about? Lived in Vegas for a little, met a dude who paid his rent on sports betting. He never lost. Said he had to find a working system. Yo, he ran into somebody. He ran into somebody who was in on it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Super Sly 75, man. Good looking out. He donated the $3. Thank you very much for that. I greatly appreciate it. For those of you who aren't subscribed, I know a lot of you guys are, but if you're not subscribed, highly suggest checking out Super Sly 75's channel. I was on his channel earlier, and I was clowning on Smokey Robinson's gang banging song. That song's been stuck in my head the last 3 days. That song is the worst. It's horrible. It was a meme. I hit up my mom, my dad used to say, well, in the 90s, they say, what the hell is this crap y'all listening to? Y'all listening to garbage. You know, we was listening to Wu-Tang and stuff like that back then. Y'all listening to all this garbage. Y'all need to listen to some real music. So I played that for him a few days ago. Like, yo, hold up. Y'all used to tell us we listen to garbage. Please explain what this man is doing on my screen right now. No response. Yeah, I bet you didn't have a response to that. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. They're about to charge Cali drivers per mile. That's what I was talking about right there, Civic Maker. They're about to charge Cali drivers per mile. That's what I was talking about. Henry Saavedra, you seem pretty chill. I like to get tacos with you someday. I mean, if I'm in the building and you happen to be in the building eating tacos, maybe. Mercedes seem like serious business. You look like you have a serious. Hilarious. I know exactly who that is now. Power inherent to the people in this thing. E46 gang over here, bro. Easy mechanics. Word. Okay. What up, athletes? Good to have you on. Good. Yeah, but yeah, in terms of the whole entire the car thing, man, it's just it's one of those things where it's like, you know, when you're dealing with cars, you want to deal with something as simple as possible. I want to deal with something as simple as possible. Now, I know some people got to have the most up-to-date car. They got to have whatever's new. You know what I'm saying? You also got to be careful when you buy cars too, because a lot of cars got destroyed in the flood. Some cars, now here's the problem with flood cars. Sometimes flood cars don't get reported. So you might have a car that was flooded that's actually still drives fine. It still looks fine. They hit it with a detail. They might paint the undercarriage to cover up any rust damage or anything like that. Put it back on the market. You know what I'm talking about? It might not ever get the Carfax for being flooded. You know, dishonest salesmen can do stuff. I've seen it happen. I had a lady come in, and she had a what the hell? It was a Hummer H2, I think, or it might have been an H3. This was like, man, this might have been after Hurricane Katrina. You know, we're on the East Coast over here, so she brought her car in, and the problem she was complaining about was she thought her car had a ghost in it. And I said, well, what do you mean it has a ghost? She says, when I'm on the highway and I'm driving, the seat randomly just starts moving close to the steering wheel, like randomly. And then when I'll go ahead and reset it, and it'll be fine. And then it'll just start doing random. The seat will just start randomly doing weird stuff. So I said, really? So she says, yeah. And I have taken it to 3 different people. Nobody knows what's wrong with it. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I went ahead and, checked the car in, and we start looking at it. And we had this car for like 3 days. We couldn't find a problem. We drove it. The car wouldn't do it all the time. It would only do it sometimes. We drove this car nonstop for like 3 days. Couldn't get it to do it. Lo and behold, on the way to work one day, I almost got crushed. I'm not exactly a small dude. So I almost got crushed because the seat was moving forward. I'm like, yo, what the? So I started messing with the seat and put the seat back. So we finally figured out what was going on. We put it in the air, checked all the wiring and stuff, and it was all kinds of like corrosion on the wires where the connectors and stuff like that were. It was very interesting. So it ended up being a flood call when we looked into it. We pulled up the mats and stuff like that. You could smell the mildew under the mats. So I told her, yeah, the problem with it, the car was probably involved in Hurricane Katrina, and they probably just did a resell on you. So you go back to whoever you bought the car from and, tell them what's up. She said, well, I thought something was up because I brought a Hummer with only 40,000 miles on it for $8,000. I said, well, there's your answer right there. They sold you a Hummer with 40K miles on it for $8,000. That car is easily worth more than that. So, you might be thinking you're getting a deal, but at the end of the day, you may not be. But this is what happens when you have cars with a bunch of computers. Stuff like that. Get an old 90s Mercedes diesel. Take very little to run on cooking oil. Yeah, there's all kinds of configurations you can do with cars in order to get them to run. And save money, save gas, and all that stuff. These newer cars have way too much electronics that can have issues. Yeah, man, they're just big computers. That's all they are. I like the new Mercedes. They have the bi-turbo engine, and they'll have the electric engine. Like they'll have a straight 6 engine, and it'll be part electric too. So you get like both of them. You know what I'm saying? But even that, like, Joe, just give me like something with just all engine. I don't want none of that electric stuff, man. I'm good with that. But then again, you talking to a guy who rode around in a 1997, 2001 Integra Type R swap Civic with roll-up windows. My shit was nice though. I had the race seats in there and everything. Y'all saw the red seats. I had the race seats in there and everything, man. It was cool. But that's what's up. What else do I have here? All right, let's take a look at some corruption. Nothing brings the people together like some good old corruption. All right, so this was kind of messed up because this guy was.
Hey, where's the owner at? This is the second time you have sent a team to Florida to lose to me.
What is going on here?
One time, some white. Mr. Porter?
There we go. I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that was all about. But all right, let's take a look at what's going on here.
Yes, sir.
Why are you not at the courthouse?
Currently, I'm in Turning Point Rehab Facility in Moultrie, Georgia.
Okay, well, I'm issuing a capias for you. You'll be held without bond. So when you finish with that facility, you'll be picked up. I received communication from the clerk. Your mom stopped by last month asking that I move the arraignment date to another month because you're in a facility. And I explained, no, I would not. You need to be here. You're not here. I did not give you permission to appear by Zoom, so you failed to appear. I'll issue a capias for you, and we'll see you when you get out of the rehab facility.
Okay.
You don't dictate or control when you come to court, nor the court's docket.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Porter?
All right, so we just saw this man get shafted by an administrator of the court. So let's unpack what happened there. So apparently this man, I think he had a DUI from what I read. And the dude decided to go ahead and go to rehab for alcohol, whatever. He goes to rehab, and one of the times he was supposed to be going to rehab, the court date was scheduled for, but he had already had the rehab scheduled. So he went ahead and had his mom go in and ask. I think he even did a motion. He had a lawyer too, and the lawyer told him, "Yeah, you don't need to go in. Just go. I'll handle everything. You go ahead and go to rehab because it's gonna look better if you're in rehab for the case than it will be if you're not in rehab and decide to come to court. I'll just get the case moved." So apparently the lawyer didn't do it for whatever reason. This is what I be talking about when people pay $5,000, $6,000 to go talk to a lawyer, and they get jerked around like this. You know what I'm saying? And then like they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know what happened. I paid the lawyer all of this money." Oh, the lawyer, these people are out there to make money. They're out there to be friends of the court. They don't really care necessarily. I'm not going to say all of them, but because there are some that do care about your rights, but they're always going to put the court at the forefront. You know what I'm saying? So they decided to go ahead and get a lawyer, and the lawyer basically shafted him. So the judge said, "Hey, look, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest, and we're going to hold you in jail until your court date since you can't seem to make it here on time." Crazy. Absolute abuse of power, man. This is what I be talking about. Y'all need to start reading your constitution, because if you out there hiring lawyers, you could really, honestly, if you know what to do, you could get the shit thrown out yourself. If it ain't no injured party involved, ain't no way they can move forward. Gotta start reading your state constitution and the federal. But that was crazy. That really bothered me, man, because it was like this dude was trying to do the right thing, and he ended up getting shafted. Never a good thing. I know. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm a little concerned about the Taquan X case, man. I've been watching his live streams lately. Dude looks a little bothered. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little concerned about what's going on with his gun case with the when he got pulled over for traveling. So I hope everything works out for him. All right, so this is how it looks inside the SD Bullion's gold and silver vaults. Now, look, this is gonna look like Candyland to anybody who actually knows what's going on with the Federal Reserve Act, and we know about the gold and silver coins being the only real lawful constitutional money. This is gonna look like Candyland for those of you who are aware of what's going on.
As SD Bullion has grown to $1 billion precious metal company, very few people have seen the inner workings of our operation. A business has grown.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Hold on one second. These videos been acting up today. It's like they don't want me sharing this stuff. All right, we're back. There we go.
Very few people have seen the inner workings of our operation. A business that has grown from literally a basement to one of the top 3 largest precious metal e-commerce retailers in the world. As you might expect, video and photographs are typically not permitted. However, we wanted to give our customers a glimpse of what it's like to be inside our vaults. To do this, SD Bullion teamed up with one of our valued YouTube partners, Yankee Stacking. In a video he filmed several months ago and first featured on his channel, we took Yankee deep into our new state-of-the-art, highly secure depository. It's a video that we are sure you wouldn't want to miss. So we wanted to bring this to you on our own SD Bullion YouTube channel for our loyal followers to see. For those of you who are new to SD Bullion and who don't know the story of how our business started, please be sure to check out the SD Bullion mini-series, SD Early Years, building a $1 billion metal dealer, which can be found in the link below this video. Thank you for being a valued customer and for your support. I hope you enjoy this exclusive look inside SD Bullion.
The trip to SD Bullion's repository started long before sunup. A Brinks delivery semi-truck was scheduled at some point that day, and that was something I didn't want to miss. Did I mention security was tight? Fort Knox has nothing on SD Bullion. Their head of security, I'm going to call Rocco, became my escort. They screen every inch of you on the way in and on the way out. It's my belt. Nothing escapes their eyes. My first sight of silver and gold was in the packaging area of their operations. I quickly sensed the sheer volume that SD Bullion was processing on a daily basis. Amazing.
Like every other day we see that.
Look at all that silver. That's like Wonderland.
Silver, gold, and all of this was headed out to some lucky customers. But this was just the beginning. I hadn't really seen anything yet.
This facility is close to 40,000 square foot. So it's about 15 times larger than our previous facility with totally state-of-the-art technology and security. We believe in our rights to guns here, so you're in good hands.
Second Amendment rights reign supreme
Right.
here at SD Bullion. Thank you. Is this the vault?
This is the vault specifically for depository.
No, I did try to get in here, but Rocco would have nothing to do with it.
That's good.
One of the mantras is if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And I love being my own vault. I love having my own safe, my own cameras and security. But that's not cheap and that's
No.
not easy to do.
Right.
So a lot of people have asked me, where do I store my precious metals?
Right.
How do I do it securely? Can you tell us a little bit about this vault and why it's so special?
Well, I mean, this is a class 3, so it's highest class available. So it's from getting in, I can't even get it to myself. Like people think, well, you're the owner, you're gonna be able to get into this vault. No, I can't get into the vault myself. You need 2 people at least to get into the vault with different groups. And everything we have here is insured by Lloyd's of London. So unlike at your house where if you try to get insurance, it'd probably be pretty expensive and there'd probably be a lot of loopholes that the insurance company could get out of. This is actually fully insured by Lloyd's of London.
Do you put your gold and silver,
Oh, yeah.
platinum,
Yeah.
and everything else in here?
All my inventory is stored here.
Oh, that's a pallet of silver.
How much money, what is the dollar value do you think would be everything on that pallet right now? Like that one silver, that's not even a kilo. What is that? That's like a whole entire brick of silver. What is the value of one of those? I wonder. That's not even gold. Gold would be even more expensive than that.
What do you think, Tyler?
Nice, fresh 1,000-ounce pliers. Doesn't get any better than this.
Metal. Grits. Ah,
Yes. Very nice. Kyle, what do we have here?
Those are 100-ounce bars. Fresh off the mint. Like I said, I love.
Definitely hit that like button. It helps the algorithm out. Hit the like button if you can. I greatly appreciate it.
Love seeing stuff fresh off the mint. This looks so beautiful.
Doesn't it? Wow.
This is the first machine we started using to count 90%. It works very well, but it's very slow. We used it for many years. We upgraded to the Cadillac of coin sorting. This is the jet sort. It can process 10,000 dimes a minute. So it is amazing. Yes, this is probably 1,000 face bag right there. essentially dump it all in there. They turn it on. They set it to quarters or dimes or half dollars, because that's what we're dealing with, obviously. And then it just goes. Set the bag underneath here. And I mean, it just makes, it's a huge blessing to us, makes our job so much faster. This 9% machine will roll it up, which makes it look like it comes from a bank, and of course has our branding on it and the color, depending on if it's quarters, dimes, or half dollars.
If you want to be technical, that is kind of, it's like literally what a bank is supposed to be. That's probably what banks used to look like back in the day before the Federal Reserve Act was put into play. You know, how the hell does that place have more money than the fucking Federal Reserve? that's money right there. Federal Reserve has zero money in it. It's all Federal Reserve notes. It's all debt.
There.
Lawrence said 1K for each kilo of silver. Let me look on AppMex. How much is it going for still, like 1K? I know I had looked at it and I think it had dropped. It might still be over 1K though for a kilo. Let me see. I told you guys to get AppMex. AppMex is fine. No, it's 954. It dropped. It was at 1,007 or 1,008 at one point for 1 kilo of silver, but now it's down to 954, which is still higher than it was last year. You know what I'm saying? It's still higher than it was last year. So if you bought a kilo last year, you held on to it, you still good. You know what I'm saying? And then 1 kilo of gold is about 75,000. And 1 ounce is 2333 of gold. I remember one ounce of gold last year was about 1,900. So that even went up. Everything, all the silvers and metals and all the precious metals completely, they went up a certain percentage.
Obviously, there's so many different types of 90%. Going back to the late 1800s, and we get that in a mix of the supply that we get from our suppliers. So anytime we're sorting through that and we come across it, like, oh my goodness, that's something different, and we'll put it out. Like, we get the barber halves there. We get Standing Liberty quarters. And we get stuff that maybe we don't get enough of. We know it's 90%, but we haven't gotten enough of to make a skew out of it. Or sometimes like these are really old here. See the Liberties. So it's just very cool to kind of see all this stuff, even though we don't get enough of it to sell a lot of times. But the big bulk of it we keep over here. We get it from the supplier. We run through it to make sure that the count is right, and we put them in our own bags. So this is a 500 face bag. So $500 worth of 90% silver. We've talked about having strongman competitions using 90% silver and 1,000-ounce bars, but it hasn't come into fruition yet.
Oh, wow. Bars just, it's like.
I personally like the 1 ounce silver eagle. Those are my favorites. I like the way those look personally. That's just me though. You should be walking around with a little bit of silver on you at least 1 or 2 ounces of silver.
Wow, a monster box pallet. Look at that, guys. I have never seen so many monster boxes. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at all these monster boxes. Whoa. That is incredible. Hi. It's everywhere. Cute. Look how thick it is. Oh, that is chunky. Wow.
So these are all the 1 ounce gold bars that we're getting today. And then this is probably some, I'm not sure, there's someone was saying there's some one-off things, or maybe they didn't have enough or past the full box. But these are actually a full minted box here. This is how the perf mint packages them. So this has not been touched. That's sealed at the Perth Mint. Yeah.
3.6 million. Yeah.
And that little right there.
Yo, this reminds me of that Grand Theft Auto heist where you go in the bank and you just start taking like the gold and put it in the bag. That's a lot of gold. $3.6 million worth of gold. That's insane.
We got 1 ounce gold kangaroos, and the way they come from the mint is in bigger cardboard boxes of 300. So our process here is, since we know they're directly from the mint, all we're doing is just verifying that the product is correct, and that so the product, we verify the year and that it is a 1 ounce kangaroo. So I'm just gonna take a look at each of these rolls, make sure that it's the correct year.
Does this ever get old?
Not really.
You're looking at pools of gold.
You don't realize it, but 500 ounces of gold, you're holding like almost $1 million in your hand, but it doesn't feel like it.
At a GSR gold to silver ratio of 75, we're looking at the amount of silver equal to the amount of gold. That is 30,000 troy ounces of silver and 400 ounces of gold. What an incredible image that is.
We have 1 ounce gold bars. So we actually test these ones because they didn't come from the direct.
These are the gold
mints.
bars right here. 1
So
ounce.
they go through a lot of hands. We just want to make sure that they're verified and that it's the correct quantity, correct ounce, and that they're all here. So these come in a pack of 25. 25, yep. So from here, we'll just lay them all out. So we make sure all of them are here, correct ounce. And then once we verify the quantity, we will grab the tester. So show up in the green.
Let me catch up in the comments. Hold on. Sean says, A6, do you have an eBay dealer that you can refer or trust? I like Pinehurst Coins. Pinehurst Coins is pretty reliable. I got a few things from them here and there. Pinehurst is dope. But like I said, if you guys want to like just get it straight off the website without having to do eBay or anything, AppMex is going to be the way. There's an app you can get for your phone. It's free. It's called AppMex, AppMex. And everybody here should be grabbing some gold or silver. You don't have to get kilos necessarily. You can get ounce here, ounce there. You don't even have to get the ounces. You can get grams if you want. You can get them small, big, large, whatever your pockets can do. But you should definitely be collecting silver. I was telling you guys to do that 3 years ago. And if you listen to me, your silver and your gold went way up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, if you can get a little bit of it at least, it's good to have. But Pinehurst Coins is my go-to if I were to do eBay. Why do they still want federal fiat money? Beyond me. My thing is when people, if you're not in a jam or like if it's not an emergency or something like that, I really don't see any reason somebody would take gold or silver and exchange it for fiat. You're taking lawful money that appreciates with time and exchanging it for something that depreciates, which is exactly what's happening to the dollar. If you have $30,000 sitting in the bank and you left it sitting in the bank over the last 7 years, you lost value for what you have in the bank because you can't buy as much with that 30,000 as you could before. You can look at the housing market and see that. Houses here are expensive as hell. If you go try to buy a house for this, compare 7 years ago to now, it's a night and day difference. You know what I'm saying? It's a night and day difference. But if you had that same amount in gold sitting somewhere in a vault, it appreciated. Like, that's what I'm saying. People say, oh, hedge against inflation, hedge against inflation. Absolutely. That's just me, though.
Have you personally
tested
Yeah.
and seen a questionable bar?
Bar, yes, and coin. So we would have to contact customer service to contact the customer or supplier.
So Tyler, this is an amazing operation you have here. I love the new
Thank you.
facility. But dude, what is with the trash?
We actually have occasionally some silver or gold will show up in the trash.
In the trash.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have to keep it in here for a while?
Yeah, we have to keep it in here just in case. If there is a shortage, we can sometimes backtrack it and have to search the trash.
After seeing all that incredible inventory, we came full circle back to the fulfillment area where one of their gracious associates walked me through a rather impressive shipment.
Yeah, so here we're just weighing this up, making sure that there's the right amount of points in there that the customer ordered. I also want to reduce the amount of movement, so I'm going to place some peanuts in there. If we can reduce movement, then we can make sure that the product's going to arrive without being damaged, scratched. So again, verify that weight. Customer ordered 20. This is a JM bar, 100 ounce.
100 ounces of silver.
Because if things are moving during transit, then they're more likely to be damaged. And obviously, we don't want that to happen. We also include a special offer for a depository and a business card. Now we're going to take this over to the strapping machine. This just ensures that the contents aren't going to come flying out during transit. Holds the box shut. This padded pack also ensures that the contents do not get damaged. Gives a little bit more cushion. This is ready for the final weigh-in. 8 pounds, 14 ounces. It's ready to go.
Headed off to one more satisfied customer.
So that's the process. So that's how it gets to your doorstep. You know what I'm saying? So if you decide to order from SD Bullion, that will be the process for you to receive your item. Like I said, highly recommend you do something like this. Great idea to go ahead and have gold and silver on hand just in case. You know. So we are creeping up on 1:14. I'm about to go ahead and wrap it up for the night. Thank you guys for joining in. It has been great. It's A6 of 4 National Born Natural. Please jump on the Patreon if you would. Go ahead and subscribe on that. I will be live on Tuesday and we'll chop up game there. Stuff I can't talk about on YouTube because videos get removed for the stuff we talk about on there. So with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. I will holler at you guys next Sunday. Have a good night, everybody. And remember, the path to freedom is through our bravery. Keep studying and learning. Peace.